What's up YouTube, it's Headshot87, and today we are doing a big time review. In the last video, the comparison video between the Shield and the Glock 43, I asked you guys to let me know any other guns that you guys would like to see compared to the Glock 43. And I was going to do just the Lc9s Pro and the Glock 43, but a lot of you all asked me to include the Shield in that video as well. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a big review. We're going to split it up between two parts. The first reason for that is I've noticed, like, when we do a long review, the audience retention on them is not that good. And I can understand that. Nobody wants to sit down and watch a 50-minute video. So we're going to do the initial review. And we're going to talk about size, weight, price. We're going to talk about how they carry inside the waistband. And I'm going to give you pros and cons of each gun as I see it. And then in the next video, we'll do the shooting review. Show you how accurate we can be with each one consistently. Do the 15-yard headshot test, which is just, you know, headshots at 15 yards. And try to show you the recoil and pulse between them. Give you some final thoughts. And in that next review, I'm going to tell you if I had to sell 2 out of these 3 and just keep one, which one I would keep. So, let's go ahead and get started. I made a little sheet for you guys to look at to make it a little bit easier and to save a little bit more time. You have the Glock 43, the Lc9s, and the Shield. So, the biggest difference you're going to see here, and I didn't write it down, I'll notate it, is the weight. The Glock 43, which is here, is 17.95 ounces unloaded. Lc9s, 17.2 ounces unloaded. And the M&P is 20.2 ounces unloaded. So you have a 2-ounce difference between the Shield and the Glock, and a 3-ounce difference between the Shield and the Lc9s. Alright? So, other than that, the biggest difference you have is the grip size between the Shield and the Glock. What I can tell you, consistently, the Glock or the Shield is a bigger gun. Pretty much all the way around. The Glock is a little bit longer than the two, and the Shield is pretty much bigger though and weighs more. So let's get these lined up so I can show you this. At the end of this video, I have some really good close-up pictures of all three in various different ways so y'all can see that. Even with the extended mags, which I took pictures of at the end as well, the Shield is always bigger, at least taller in the grip, which makes a big difference. We'll talk about that in a minute when we talk about how they carry inside the waistband. So there you go. Glock is the shortest, 6+1. Lc9s comes in second, 7+1 capacity. Shield comes in at the tallest, 7+1 capacity with the flat base plate. Right around here on the front, the Lc9 is the shortest, or the Lc9s, I'm sorry, is the shortest of the two. The Glock is the longest. You have 6.2 inches overall on the Glock. You have 6 inches exactly on the Lc9s and 6.1 inches on the Shield. Barrel lengths between them, the Glock 43 is 3.3 inch barrel. The Lc9s has a, what is it, a 3.1 inch barrel. And the M&P Shield is a 3.1 inch barrel. So there you go. Let's talk about each gun individually real quick, now that you got an idea of where they fit with each other. On the Lc9s, it ships with one 7-round magazine. It's a steel magazine. A couple of nice features about the Lc9s. The side serrations are cut really deep and they're pretty aggressive on this model, and they're really, really nice. Makes charging the gun really easy. It's a very small profile overall and very comfortable to carry. There's your sight picture. Really small dots on the Lc9s, but they pick up pretty nicely. Very thin, very small grip. The trigger on it, Of course, this is the improvement over the LC9. You hit the wall right here. You have a little bit of creep, and it breaks. And that break is so smooth. The reset is a little bit far out. Not too bad. And it's ready to go again. So I'll go ahead and spoil this. Best trigger out of all three, hands down. The Glock, you get two 6-round magazines. One is the flat base plate. One is the extended, which is a 6-round as well. If you're familiar with Glock, you're going to be familiar with this gun. Although the trigger is heavier than the Glocks I've shot in the past, at least the 19 and the 34 that I've shot. The 42 had kind of a heavier trigger too, but the trigger on this one, you hit the wall and a nice clean break, which Glock estimates at 5.5 pounds. I really need to get a scale so I can measure this, because I'm almost positive that's probably heavier. And there's your reset. Really snappy if you like that. And it's ready to go again. Best balance of the three goes to the Glock. The way it feels in your hand compared to how comfortable it is to carry and shoot. This is just a great balance overall. Slide serrations on the 43. I've been really big on this since I owned the 42, and the 42s were basically non-existent. The 43, they cut them a little bit deeper, and they're not as big as the Lc9s. You can see how long these are. They're not that long, but they're cut really nice, and it makes charging the gun really easy. That is a big thing with me now since owning the 42. If you own a 42, you probably know what I'm talking about. You have your standard Glock sights. A nice little beaver tail here. And, of course, Glock, you just get really high up, and it makes controlling the gun pretty easy. So, squared off trigger guard, which is serrated, by the way. This is the only option on the table where you can reverse the magazine release, by the way. So, as far as left-hand options, that is the only one. Neither one of these. I don't think the Lc9s you can reverse the magazine release. I'm pretty positive you can't. The Shield, I know you can't. On the Shield, the long-running king of concealed carry, as I've called it in some videos, at least up until now, maybe. Slide serrations on the Shield are just awesome. You have these fish scale slide serrations, and they just look good and feel even better. Really great. The texture on all of these, you need Talon grips or something else. I'll just go ahead and tell you. But right out of the box, the Shield feels amazing. Of course, it is a little bit bigger, but it feels great. And the trigger on the Shield, it's kind of a split trigger design. So it flattens out as you pull it, but you hit the wall, and you have a nice clean break. Reset is a little weird. Listen. You hear that? You would think that's a reset, but it's not. That's the reset. So it can throw you off sometimes, but very nice trigger, and it's broken nicely. And there's your sight picture on the Shield. 3 dots. They're very big, very usable. One more thing about this one is you can get it with or without the safety, if that's what you like, and you want to get the one with the safety. Loaded chamber indicator is a peephole up here. On the Lc9s, you have the Pro version, which is no safety, no magazine disconnect, and you have the chamber indicator up here, or you can get one with the safety and the magazine disconnect. That's up to you. On the Glock, you have no Glocks. You don't have any option for an external safety. So if that's a big deal to you, there's no external safety on the Glocks. Magazine buttons, let's talk about this real quick. We'll go back to the Ruger, pop the magazines in, and it's very springy. You can see how quick those pop in and out there. Very nice. Like it. The Shield has always been my favorite one as far as the magazine release. Very big, serrated, and they just pop in and out. This is the easiest one to get to, but it's never inadvertently, the mags have never come out on me as I'm shooting the gun. Even though it's the easiest to activate out of the three, that's never happened to me. That's the one I like the best on that one. The Glock 43 is different from the 42, from what I remember. The 42, it was big like this. Obviously, it's a Gen 4. And you just, with a little bit of a click, that thing would come out. On this one, and it might break in, I don't know. But this one, you really have to, let me put a magazine in here, I can show you. If you watch this side of the frame, how far it comes out. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Try that.
Okay.
See how far it comes out before it activates there. Grab another mag, and I'll show you that it actually goes into the frame. I got this all pointed at myself. Everything's safety checked, by the way, so you see it from right there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, here we go. So,
wow. You
can see how far you have to press it into the frame to get it out. It really kind of bugs me. It may break in. I don't know. Just a little minor quirk there. So, and on the Glock, the extractor doubles as your chamber indicator. Alright. Breakdown really quick. Glock is always the easiest, it seems like. Pull the trigger. Pull down on these little tabs while you pull the slide back. And there you go. Just wanted to show you the barrel lengths real quick. Don't want to bore you guys too much, especially the people that watch our videos all the time. You've seen a lot of these guns here recently, and I want to have you at least make it interesting for you guys. Alright, I didn't show you that. I went through them kind of quickly, but on the shield, you lock the slide back to the rear. Pull it down on your safety lever or your takedown lever right here. You can pull the trigger, or you can pull this little yellow tab right there. You can move that down and without pulling the trigger, but it's just if you want to do that. On the Ruger, a little bit more involved, kind of annoying. There's a pin in here, and from the other side you can push a little pokey thing down in there and get it to pull out or drop out. But it seems now, take the slide, pull it back just a little bit, and it's actually been falling out on its own. So it's actually good that you have this little little cover right there, and it'll come right off. Alright, so they're all pretty similar. So here is the Glock barrel. Here is the M&P. And I have pictures of this at the end as well. Alright, that's pretty even. Glock has the longest barrel, like we said, we didn't go over that. 3.3 inch barrel, 3.1 inch barrel on the Ruger, which is at the end here, and a 3.1 inch barrel on the Shield. So there you go. So although you don't have a big difference in length, there's where a little bit of it is right there in the barrels. Let me go ahead and put these back together really quick. And they're all three, while we're on the subject, they're all three super easy to maintain and clean. There's that one. So yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy this 3-gun video. I've never done it, and like I said, I wanted to keep it kind of short because, you know, the audience retention when you do a really long video is not that good. So want to keep it short and enjoyable for you guys and not a bore. So we're going to try this as a 2-part, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. If you're looking at one of these guns for concealed carry and you're looking to make a decision today and you say, dude, I can't wait on the shooting, what can you tell me? Well, we can tell you everything in this video, and I can tell you that all 3 of these guns are super easy to shoot. If you've never shot in your life, They may be a little bit snappy to you at first, but I promise you, you get the hang of them and you will love them. It's really going to come down to maybe a specific manufacturer or how they feel in your hands or something like that. That's really going to make the big difference for you, or even how you shoot them, because they do shoot a little bit different across the board. Alright, so we talked about all the size, weight, specs, features, all that stuff on these guns. Okay, let's talk about how they carry inside the waistband. The three options that we've been carrying for a while: the Lc9s in a hidden hybrid holster. Love this holster, by the way. That's how we've been carrying it most of the time. The Glock 43 Ted Corey holster that he sent me. I'm about to do a review on this holster, but I can tell you this is a great option. Jenny's liked it as well, have you not?
Loved it.
The Shield.
Love that holster.
Nate Square Tactical. This was our first holster I think we ever bought.
Yeah,
and,
it was.
It's a good holster for what it is, but I just don't like all the extra material around it. I'd rather a little bit of the gun touch you than to have all this. It just seems really bulky. But what I did and what I found out is Ted Corey not only makes an awesome holster for the Glock 43, but it also fits the M&P Shield.
Nice.
Look, the trigger guard is covered. But it doesn't stop there. It also fits the Lc9s. So to make this a little bit more consistent across the board, we were carrying it in the Ted Corey holster to give us an idea, you know, at least, you know, let it be a little bit more uniform. Right off the bat, there's not much that needs to be said about this, I think. But right off the bat, the Lc9s and the Glock 43 are the most comfortable, and they're a little bit lighter. And you know, you're talking about 2 ounces difference here, 3 ounce difference here. Obviously, the Shield being heavier than both of them, but these two, it makes a difference inside the waistband. You know, you'll hear people talk about it all the time. Thickness and weight, it makes a difference. So that's just what it is. Now, when it comes between these two, you have a little bit of difference here in the height, and this is kind of a little quirk with the 43. Don't come down too hard on me, but this little bit of difference right here does not make that big of a difference. As a matter of fact, the Lc9s to me is the most comfortable to carry out of all these. Now, when it comes to shooting, we'll just, you know, we'll show you, but this is the most comfortable gun to carry, even though it has a little bit longer grip. Now, the length of the grip is what you're trying to hide. It doesn't matter the length of the barrel, it's the length of the grip. But when you step up to the Shield, you have a couple more ounces, and that may be the biggest part of it. It really is. But the difference between here and here starts to get a little bit more noticeable. Like I said, inside the waistband, all it takes is a very small difference to make a difference either way. This right here makes a little bit more of a noticeable difference, especially for Jenny. She wears obviously tighter clothes, and it really is not the most comfortable option, and we just play dominoes with our guns. But the difference between here and here, the Lc9s and the Glock, does not make that big of a difference. Now the question is, do you take 6+1 in the Glock or 7+1 in the Lc9s? I'm taking 7+1, not because I feel like this is inferior, just because it's just as comfortable to carry inside the waistband as the Glock. But with that being said, a viewer was talking to me after the last video with the M&P Shield and the Glock 43, and he was saying, you know, when you decide to carry a single stack gun, you're not exactly worried about capacity. You know, that's not the major thing you're worried about. And I agree with him. I do agree with him. But when you have 6+1 compared to 7+1, XDS 7+1, it's just something to note. It's a disadvantage when you're talking about these in general. But when it comes to the gun itself, it's not a disadvantage because I don't mind doing that. Carry an extra mag, you'll be okay. There's going to be somebody, if this is what you really want. If you've been carrying a Glock 26 forever and you say, dude, this is what I've been wanting, is there anything that would hold me back from buying this? Absolutely not. 6+1, you carry another magazine. There's going to be somebody that makes maggots for this thing where you can get another round in there. Absolutely not. Don't let it sway you. I mean, you're talking about one more round. So between these, it makes a difference. In general, I don't think so. Not to me. Alright, so Lc9s, we both feel, is the most comfortable gun here. Of course, it is the lightest, so that would make sense. Then the Glock, then the Shield, being the heaviest and the bigger of all three guns. Let's talk about pros and cons of each gun as we see it, and then at the end of the video, we have a bunch of close-up pictures and all this kind of stuff. So I did want to show you how these looked really quick with the extended mags, because I know a lot of y'all like to carry with the extended mag. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that the Shield and the Glock come with 2 magazines. Lc9s, 1 magazine. Let me grab my little thing real quick. Give me 1 second. So I know a lot of you guys and girls like to carry with the finger extensions. So there you go. There's how they line up. Again, the Shield actually is a flat extension. So it actually makes the overall gun bigger in every single way. So it's definitely bigger than the Lc9s. Just a little bit. They are very close here. And then the Glock, even with the finger extension, although it doesn't add any capacity, it's still the shortest. When it comes to the way these feel in the hand, the Glock wins it by far. So overall, all three guns are very thin. The Glock 43, 0.87 inches thick. The Lc9s right here in the middle is 0.9 inches thick. The Shield is 0.95. You have a little bit of difference in weight here. You have a little bit different, a very small amount of difference in width. So, I went over and I wrote down the pros and cons of each gun as I see them, so maybe this will help you to make a buying decision. Let's start with the Lc9s. The pros of the Lc9s is it's a great value. At $350, which is what I picked this gun up at, it is a great value and has been reliable through 300 rounds, so that's all I can mention on this example. But from what I've seen from others, it's very reliable. And out of all three of these, this has the best trigger. Now it is the lightest trigger. You can get it with or without the safety if that's what you like, but this one has the best trigger, and this one took the less training time between all three of these. This one took the less training time to get right on point and be accurate with it. And it is accurate. For as small a gun as we're talking about, it is very accurate. Very small, very comfortable inside the waistband. The most comfortable one, in our opinion, is this one. And it's just very simple, very, very easy to use. Everything's really nice. The cons of it, it only comes with 1 magazine. So even though I got it for $350, I still need to buy one, but you're looking at $400 if you buy 2 magazines with it. The sights, from what I hear, these are adjustable for windage, by the way, but they're apparently really hard to change. There's a roll pin up here. Apparently it's easier just to pay a gunsmith to do it. I'm not sure, but that's just what I've heard from a lot of people. Breakdown is a little bit more involved, but not too much. It's just a little bit, you know, compared to these two, it's a little bit of a disadvantage, a little bit of a con. And I think that's all. I do have a little cheat sheet here, but I think that's all I really have. The sight picture is these dots are really kind of small, but once you get used to them, they work really well. So that's really all I have on the Lc9s. Great price, amazing trigger, only comes with 1 magazine, and apparently the sights are kind of hard to change out. That's it. Alright, let's go to the Glock. As far as balance between weight, feel, size, and shootability, this is your number one, in my opinion. Just has a great overall balance. And one thing I mentioned in the first video is, even though this is a really small gun, it feels really great. And I really attribute that to this hump back here. Fits to the curve of your hand and just really feels nice. Best feel on the table right here. Very easy to use. Just been a great little gun. Very comfortable inside the waistband. Just a great balance of everything that we're talking about here. And the littlest difference with this gun, it seems to be really good at everything, as far as shooting, as far as carrying, as far as the way it feels. It's just a great option. The cons on this gun, you're looking at them right now. The biggest one, in my opinion at least, is the sights. I can't stand these sights. Now, the 42 sights fit on these guns, and here soon, hopefully, we'll be ordering a new set. The price on these right now is expensive. $4.99 to $5.99 right now. Yeah, $4.99 to $5.99 is pretty much the standard, and I've even seen them on Gunbroker for like $700 and $800. Glock fanatics are willing to pay for it. It's almost even made me question, like, holy moly, maybe I should sell it and buy another one. But I just love it too much. I really do. I honestly, I expected to buy this gun. I expected to review it, maybe compare it if it did well, and sell it. That's all I plan to do. I just can't get rid of it. I just really love it. I love the 42 too. The 380 ammunition was just hard to get and expensive. That's the only reason I got rid of the 42. Some people have come down on me about the video that we had about the Glock 42, but that's just what it was. I really liked it. But this right here, 9mm, it just fits the bill. It's cheap to shoot, and it is a blast. Balance goes to the Glock 43. Sights suck. The grippy texture right here is not like your regular Gen 4. It's kind of slippery. Actually, all of these really need some kind of Talon grips or something. The trigger's a little bit heavier, but you can get used to that. And as far as cons on that, besides the price right now, even though it will come down, that's it. The magazine button is kind of stiff too, but we'll see if that will break in over time, maybe. Let's go to the Hall of Fame shield. When it comes to value, this is the best value on the table. If you're carrying a Glock 19 and you have for years, and you say, I just want something at a good price, even if it is a little bit heavier, I don't care, that's fine. This is the best value. 2 magazines, stainless steel magazines, stainless steel barrel, stainless steel slide, stainless steel adjustable sights. This is the best value right here. With or without a safety, if you like that. One thing I forgot to mention, made in the USA, lifetime warranty. Ruger, made in the USA. Apparently their warranty is fantastic. The 43 is made in Austria, at least for right now. But Glock does make some of their guns here, and they may do that as well. And I think these are lifetime warranty as well. So pretty much even across the board there. Great feel. M&Ps just really, all of them feel great in the hand. 2 magazines, really great value. Cons of the gun, if you're picky about stuff like this, how the magazine sticks out and you can see the stainless steel part of it. If you're picky, this one is kind of stiff, even after 1,400 rounds, just racking the slide. It likes to catch kind of right there. It's just not refined. That's the way I like to say it. It is the best unrefined gun there is. It just has these little quirks that just drive me nuts, but I still continue to love it and will not get rid of it. Little stuff like that. That's pretty much it on the shield. It just has these little things that I can't stand. The extended mag is ridiculously long on this gun. I would much rather have something like what Glock did on theirs. But other than that, best value, best feel, best trigger, and a great value as well. Improvements right out of the box. The shield trigger is actually broken in really nicely, but apex triggers in these are apparently awesome. Maybe a set of sights if you're into, you know, XS big dots or whatever. The aftermarket support on the shield is fantastic. And Talon grips on the Glock. Sights, unless you like these sights, if you do, that's fine. But sights is a must. Talon grips on this one. The trigger would be nice if it was a little bit lighter, but that's just me. The Lc9s, Talon grips, and a set of sights. So if you were to make an adjustment right out of the box, that's what I would say for all three. Alright guys, so this was a long video, even with splitting these up, but I hope this will help some of you guys and girls out looking to either make your first buying decision or going from one to the other, maybe justify it, maybe it won't. Hopefully this will help y'all out. Here within the week, it should be only within the week, we're going to take these out side by side, shoot them, let you see how we do with them, recoil impulse, the 15-yard headshot test, and see how they do. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys stuck with us all the way to the end. We will see you next time, and as always, hold them down.